Good morning and welcome to today's Reset for Life. I remember when I was 16 years old and I just got my 365. My older sister decided to take me out driving. It was the first time that I had ever been behind the wheel of a car. I started driving and I was doing really well until I had to make a right turn. As I made the right turn, I oversteered the wheel, and instead of going straight, I went right into a parked car. At that moment, my sister yelled, "Hit the brakes!" However, I panicked, and instead of hitting the brakes, I hit the gas, and I dragged the car that I hit another 10 feet before we actually stopped. Once we stopped, we now had to go door to door to find out whose car we just hit, and I gotta tell you, it was kind of embarrassing. We also had to call the police because there was some damage to the car. When the police arrived, he proceeded to tell me that he could have fined me for a few things, but because he had already seen that I was scared and shaken, he wasn't going to do anything. I was so relieved. However, I was more afraid about who I was going to face next, and that was my father. I thought to myself, I am a dead man. We only had one car. My parents didn't have a lot of money because my mom was the only one working because of my father's blindness. And I just crashed that car. Need I remind you, this was before such a thing of no-fault insurance or forgiveness, so we would have had to pay a pretty penny. So I knew that I was in big trouble. So when I called my dad, his reaction amazed me. He didn't yell. He didn't even act like he was mad. He was glad that we were safe and my parents took care of the issue. I knew it cost them. I knew it cost them their insurance because I knew their insurance went up, and I knew that it would have cost them some other stuff, repairs, things like that. But what I noticed was that he was never mad at me. As we continue our series, But God, it reminds me of Psalms 86, verse 15, which says, "But you, Lord, are compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in love and in faithfulness." My father had every right to be angry with what I did, even if it was an accident. But he showed me grace and compassion. This reminds me of God. There are times when we think that God is angry with us or hates us. A lot of people read scripture and see God as this being that is angry with us and wanting to punish us all the time. The truth is, God is compassionate. He looks upon us with compassion. He feels for us and he stretches out his hand towards us. He is a gracious God. In times where we deserve punishment and even judgment, and things that we deserve that we know could hurt us, instead he shows us grace. He gives us a gift of love when we deserve punishment. He also is slow to anger. He is not a God that gets angry easily. He is a God that is slow to anger, which is an amazing thing to think about. Because when we think about all the things that we've done, all the things that are happening in this world, in all the ways that the human race has screwed up, our great God is slow to anger and is in fact abounding in love and in faithfulness. If you look at your life, there are many times where we've been unfaithful to God. But by the things that we do or the things that we say or the things that we think, yet he is a God that is always faithful to us. He's never been unfaithful to us. In fact, he promises to never leave us nor forsake us. Or he reminds us that if we draw close to him, he will always draw close to us. If you read the verse before that, David writes, "Arrogant foes are attacking me, O God. Ruthless people are trying to kill me. They have no regard for you." God is patient. He's gracious and compassionate. And he has so much more even for people who disregard him, for people who hate him, or for people who he even rejects him. His love for him is great. He has compassion for them, and he's reaching out his hand to them. His love for us and his faithfulness to us is unmeasurable. His grace for us is wonderful. His faithfulness to us is unwavering. As you go throughout the day, Understand that he loves you. His arms are open wide for you, and he's there to show you grace and compassion. He's there abounding in love and in faithfulness. And even in those times when you think that he's angry with you, or that he might be upset with you, or that he's trying to punish you, know that he's a God that is slow to anger, abounding in love and in faithfulness. He's compassionate, and he wants you near him all of the time. And so, church, know today that he's calling you to draw close to him. He's drawing you close and saying, I love you, and that I'm going to be patient with you because I want to see you become who I want you to be. Have a good morning, church.